Okay guys, hello, this is my spoiler video for Star Wars The Force Awakens. Let's get going.
Uncle Chunt, 100% certified Chunty.
Okay, holy shit, how many of you guys have seen this movie already? Because I'm just going to go on here for a while. So this is your warning, this is all spoilers. It's in the title of the video, I've just said it's spoilers. If you clicked onto this video and didn't know it was about spoilers, get your eyes checked. Now we're going to talk about some spoilers. So I'm going to admit, going into this, I really didn't know a lot about the film. I went out of my way to kind of hide all that from my mind and everything going into this. I even tried to not be on Facebook or social media as much as I could without anyone spoiling it for me. I will say though, fuck you to a couple of people that tagged me in something 4 hours before I went to go see the movie. You tagged me for a reason, you wanted me to see something. I read something that really pissed me off, but you know, I deleted you on Facebook, so I feel better. In saying that, whatever you tagged me on didn't actually happen, so still deleting you for being a dick. So first up, Oscar Isaac playing Poe Dameron. Holy shit, what a likable character. Straight off, I'm just like, wow, I like that guy, he's cool. I hope he's in it for more than what I'm seeing right now, and this is the start of the film. And then you don't really see him a lot for the rest of it. He gets captured by Kylo Ren, which I'll get to later. And he's like force minding his brain into pieces to get information, and then that's pretty much the last you see of him. And until the end of the movie, with all the space battle in the air and all that kind of stuff, and Skykiller planet-based thing. And Kylo Ren, holy shit. Don't know what to think about him yet. Now that we know that, spoilers, that is Han Solo's son, which I, to be honest with you, I didn't even think of going in. Like, I just thought, okay, here we go. They need a Darth Vader for this series. Let's just get another guy in black robes with a black helmet, and let's start Star Wars again, okay? But that's not how it turned out, which is good. They actually gave him character. Darth Vader had character, don't get me wrong. Just, it wasn't very relatable in those films. You know, I don't know if you're supposed to relate to the villain anyway, but I just couldn't really relate to Darth Vader. Like, he was pretty badass and all that kind of stuff, but I was like, yeah, like, you can't see his face or anything, you can't really relate at all. But Kylo Ren was handled very differently, and for one, I'm happy with it. He makes for a good villain, and there's definite conflict with Kylo Ren. Especially, okay, I'm just going to get this one right off the bat. Han Solo. Wow, I did not see that coming. I figured someone from the previous older movies would kick the bucket in this film. I don't know why, I just didn't consider Han Solo. I mean, it's Harrison Ford. Yeah, I know he wanted to die in Return of the Jedi, and they, like, he's known for not kind of signing on or committing to these films. Like, he got frozen in carbonite in Empire Strikes Back just because he hadn't actually signed and they didn't know if they were going to get him back or not. And then he says he wants to die in Return of the Jedi, and then that didn't happen. But this time it's like, okay, look, I'll do this film just one last time. And they killed him off. Holy shit. I had goosebumps, like, I'm not gonna lie. I had the shivers going down. Just the way it was handled, I thought it was pretty damn cool. One thing I'll get to later about how this movie hits on certain plot points of the original Star Wars film. There's a one scene when Han Solo confronts his son. I think it's Ben Solo, but he just calls himself Kylo Ren when he's in his getup. He meets him on a bridge on Starkiller Planet. He's been sent by General Leia to get their son back. Unbeknownst to Han Solo, he was just sent to his grave. He confronts his son and he's talking to him like, come on, you know, come back with me, you can still turn this around. You don't have to be this way. And his son is like, you know, it looks like he's giving up, or he wants to. You see this conflict in his face where he's looking at his father and he knows he wants to go with him. And part of him looks like it does, but then there's some words that he says, some lines that, like, there's one thing that's holding him back, or something to that degree. And you think he's talking about Snoke, the big Sith Lord looking guy of this series by the looks. But as you get closer and closer, it looks like Han Solo's got him. Like, he looks like he's talked him around. But as Kylo Ren's handed over his lightsaber to Han as a sign of faith, like, yeah, okay, I'm done with this. And his helmet's off at this point, and it looks like he's given up. Then all of a sudden, he just reefs his lightsaber through Han and gets him, like, right through. And I was like, no fucking way! No way! And then what made it worse was Chewbacca is up there, who's just watched his best friend / brother get offed, and he's just like, he just, you know, he's like, no, like in his own Chewbacca way, like, and then he just cuts sick. He goes off, starts blowing dudes away everywhere, and like that whole scene was awesome. And you know, it just made it worse when like Han's like about to fall off the bridge. He like grazes his son's face as like one last thing, like, how could you, or you know, I still love you, son, or whatever. Like as he falls off, like, it was a powerful moment. And anyone that's a fan of Star Wars would have got the same kind of feeling, like shivers or chills or something caught in your throat, where you just didn't expect that. Not Han Solo. And part of the reason why that's so powerful is just nostalgia. Like, I've grown up with these films, I've watched them all countless times, and just to see that happen and see all these characters come back, like, it's great. Like, J.J. Abrams was able to get all these original cast members back. I mean, I'm sure that wasn't an easy task to convince them all to come back. You know, I'm sure money helps, but you know, just to be able to convince them to reprise their roles that, from what I've seen, looks like they've been trying to shy away from all these years and take it back. I'm sure it wasn't an easy task. There's a scene in this film in the Millennium Falcon, which is like the older cast representing us and the new cast representing the new generation, where Han Solo is like trying to talk to them about, you know, the Force is real, all this stuff happens, while Finn and Rey are kind of like fangirling and fanboying out about, oh my god, you're Han Solo, oh my god, I thought Luke Skywalker was a myth, and all this kind of stuff. Oh, the Force is real. Like, so they're all going nuts about it, and we're kind of Han Solo talking to them about, yeah, okay, this is actually happening. And it's like passing of the torch to the new generation. I thought that scene was pretty cool. I'm not sure if that's how it was intended, but that's how I took it anyway. And Captain Phasma, holy shit, you see her a couple times, but that's about it. I thought she was being heavily pushed as some kind of rad new stormtrooper character, and I mean, the costume is badass and everything like that, but she's in it for like, yeah, like 2 or 3 scenes maybe. But she's obviously going to be saved for, well, I'm hoping so, she's being saved for future movies, because that's what a waste. That was kick-ass. And that's one thing I like about this movie so far. Like, what the prequels did, there was like a new baddie of the week each movie, where this one, like the original trilogy, they've kept everybody pretty much. Like, everybody made it through except Han. And BB-8, I really, he grew on me. BB-8, I like BB-8. He's obviously to take over, or to win new fans over from R2-D2. Like, R2-D2's been a staple of Star Wars forever. That's the thing with C-3PO and R2-D2. They must be ancient technology in this world, like, seriously. I'm sure the technology has moved past being R2-D2 compatible by now. So it's good to see they're introducing new droids that are, you know, like their predecessors, but, you know, they're still around. C-3PO pops up, like, fucking really, and R2-D2's asleep the whole movie until the last kind of 10 minutes. But they're there. It's good that they've taken the time to introduce, like, the new status quo. And I like that. It's a great new Star Wars movie, and there's enough nostalgia in this film. Sometimes it like bats you over the head a couple times about, this is nostalgia, this is what you like it, this is what you want, right? And yes, it's what we want. Considering what the prequels gave us, it wasn't the best, and I will admit that. So as for the plot points that I've mentioned that they hit on, it's kind of like, let's just give them what the original Star Wars film did. We need to reintroduce this to a new generation and kind of let them know, let everybody know that we've got this, we've got you back. This is the Star Wars that you like. Here, have it. You'll have this movie for now, and hopefully we can give you some new stuff in episode 8. Okay? So just like this one, please. And I totally understand that. It's probably the smartest move that they could have done. Everybody fell in love with Star Wars for a reason, so why reinvent the wheel? But, you know, there were some points of the film I was just sitting there, just like, okay, I've seen this, I know what you're doing. Alright. Like, there's a throwback to the Mos Eisley Cantina scene in there. Even the whole Death Star thing. It's a giant Death Star. There's no beating around it. They even bring up a hologram comparing the Death Star to the Star Killer base. You know, and they're like, oh, let's just do that again. Surely, you know, we can blow it up the same way. You know, and They kind of play on that a little bit. And essentially that's what they're doing. It's like, well, we need to take out this little spot and then we can blow up the whole planet. Okay. But holy shit, the Starkiller base, what a concept. It's pretty damn awesome. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, what else would they have done? Like, the whole thing's a planet and it sucks the life out of stars to charge its weapon. Holy crap, that was a cool visual, if anything. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the first time they fired the Starkiller base at anything, the scene before that, it was like very Nazi-like. Like, you got this guy like screaming profanities about the Republic and, you know, the Senate, screw the Senate, let's kill them, this is their last day and all this kind of stuff. And there's like red flags behind them with a black emblem and, you know, scores of army in front of them. And then they fire it off. And the planet that they explode looked a lot what I thought was Coruscant. Because the planet, you see the planet and the people on it, and it just looks like a giant city planet. And in my Star Wars mind, the first thing that came to mind was Coruscant. And especially when they were just yelling about the Senate and the Republic. Please tell me if I'm wrong, but that's what it looked like. And I was like, fucking really? Holy crap! So yeah, Kylo Ren as a villain, I like it. I mean, he's got more character and you see his face. It makes him more human than just a robot with a mask. As like what Darth Vader kind of felt like most of the time. So you can see there's history behind there and you don't really know what is going on, and they only allude to a few things, which obviously I hope they unravel some more in the next movies. I was never like, oh wow, this guy, he's serious business. He just seems messed up and I felt sorry for him sometimes, you know? And he just, not a joke, but just didn't really come across as like, fucking don't mess with that guy. Especially when you go up to Snoke, which is like the new Emperor type role. This big, like, imposing hologram guy who just looks like he's been through some serious shit. His face is all mucked up and scars everywhere and stuff, and yeah, pretty intense. And every time he goes to him, he's like, please teach me some more. You know, oh, sorry I didn't do it correctly, but this happened and this happened. And I was like, okay, come on. I don't know if it was just me, but it looks like Disney and the new LucasArts life that is happening right now seems to be wanting to take Star Wars a bit more seriously this time. Like, there were some comedic parts in it, but nothing like, oh, slapstick, haha, that was great, or whatever. It was just natural comments that the characters would have made, or what felt natural, and it was good. I had a few chuckle moments, but it was not like laugh out loud funny, which I don't want that from Star Wars. Like, there's a lot of serious shit going on the screen, and I don't want people cracking jokes all the time like Avengers. So yeah, the banter between the characters, it was great. It was a great watch. And it felt very Star Wars-like, the way they handle it. So yeah, we've already covered that Han dies in it. Kylo Ren is Han Solo and Princess Leia, or General Leia's son now. Rey, we don't know too much about her yet, but I'm willing to bet that she is Luke Skywalker's daughter and just doesn't know it. Because she's on Jakku, she's left there, she keeps saying her parents will come back someday. She's grown up there not knowing her parents, and where she's staying there's like all these notches on the walls, like she's been there for fucking a lifetime. And it just seems so coincidental that Luke Skywalker's been in exile for a shitload of time as well. Everybody thinks he's gone missing and he's hidden his tracks. It would be too obvious, but I kind of want it to happen because she's Force sensitive. In this movie, she learns some Jedi Force tricks that, yes, if you're Force sensitive, okay, but you have to be taught that shit, don't you? Like when Kylo Ren's trying to interrogate her to get information about the map where Luke Skywalker is. And he starts seeing some stuff in her mind, and then you start seeing her fighting back. And they have this kind of like Force battle of minds going on, and you're like, holy shit, okay, this girl really is Force sensitive, and kind of throws him off, and he's like, holy crap, okay, like I haven't experienced anything like this for a long time. And there's earlier on in the film, she's like flying the Millennium Falcon, and Finn's like, holy crap, how are you doing this? She's like, I don't know, I'm just doing it, you know, like guided by the Force almost. And then there's other parts of the film where she uses some Force abilities, like she's strapped down to a table and she used a Jedi Force mind trick to convince a stormtrooper to let her out and drop his weapon and leave the door open, and she pisses off. Like, really? Okay. And the coolest part of what she's done in this film so far is when her lightsaber's lying there in the snow, Kylo Ren's trying to grab it, like pull it out of the snow towards him, and it's kind of jiggling there for a bit. And all of a sudden it goes whoosh, like right past him. And he's like, what the fuck? And then snap. And she grabs it in the middle of the air, and she's like, holy crap, rightio. And you're like, right, this girl knows some shit. There's something going on with this chick where she's either been made to forget, like was she being trained by Luke or something and was left on Jakku when he disappeared and had her mind wiped or something? I don't know, but she knows too much. She knows too much of the Force not being trained. Like, I don't see how that works. So yeah, they have a massive blowout. She kicks Kylo Ren's ass, hacks him up a bit. He's got a nasty scar left on his face. And he goes back, you know, with his tail between his legs. And Snoke, the big Emperor dude's like, fuck, righto, get him back. I need to complete his training. And they piss off. And at the very end, they find out how to get to Luke Skywalker. So Luke Skywalker's exiled himself, right? So earlier on in the film, they explain, well, Han Solo kind of explains to us that he feels bad because he was trying to train a whole new generation of Jedi. And Kylo Ren, or Ben Solo, was one of them. And he somehow turned to the dark side, and I don't know, he somehow came across that Snoke bloke, and he convinced him even further to join the dark side, and then turned him into this kind of infatuated fanboy of Darth Vader. And so Luke's like, shit, I did that. And then Kylo Ren decides to wipe out all the remaining Jedi that they were training, and he probably just feels bad and he's like, well, my bad for kind of creating Kylo Ren. I'm going to piss off now. Can't really face you guys anymore. I've kind of taken your son away from you and ruined your family. Soz. So yeah, at the end of the film, Rey goes to find Luke, climbs up this big island. Luke's waiting for her, must have sensed her coming in. Turns around, he's got this rockin' beard, and he doesn't say a word, but the expressions on his face says it all. She just holds out his own lightsaber, and the look on his face was like one of like, oh my god, I haven't seen that in a long time, mixed with, why did you bring that to me? Mixed with, I've been trying to escape that life. It reminds me of what happened. There's so much stuff in that one expression that he gave, he didn't have to say any words. And that's kind of where it ends. It felt a lot to me like when Sam and Frodo in Fellowship of the Ring climb up that hill and they find Mordor off in the distance, and you're like, oh right, cool, they find Mordor, and then the credits roll. It's like, fuck, it's a lot like that. I was like, shit, I can't wait for the next one, god damn it. So, oh man, like, I can talk a lot more about this film. There's a lot in it to talk about, to be honest, and I've kind of said a lot of what I really wanted to touch on in this video, which I'm glad I didn't do in the previous one, because I could do this a bit longer. Guys, if there's anything else that I've missed talking about, just let me know in the comments below, and we can spoiler on. And while we do that, I'm probably going to go see this another time. I'm probably going to catch it with my brother if I can. He's yet to see it, and I want to see it with him, so yeah, maybe 1 or 2 more times. I'm just excited to have Star Wars back, guys, and done right, all the way it should be for a new generation. And it's great. It feels like Star Wars should be here, and like, I'm a fan of film and cinema, and you know, action movies and all that kind of stuff in general, but Star Wars is something special, and it always feels like something's missing when it's just not. It's not at cinemas, or there's no Star Wars movies coming out, and now it's back. It's a feel-good thing. Anyway, guys, have you seen Star Wars: The Force Awakens yet? Hopefully you have. Otherwise, you know, I've just spoiled a lot of it for you in this video. Anyway, hopefully catch you in the comments section below, or just catch me on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram at Uncle Chunt everywhere. Just find me there and add me, and we'll do some spoilering. Rightio, have a good one. May the Force be with you.
Oh yes, Uncle Chunty.